Right, let's get started. I like our small group. We can definitely interact more. It will be good for real estate reviews. So I just want to start asking who here has done a real estate review before? Brent, you've done them, haven't you? Yeah. Has everyone here at least seen what one looks like when it's completed? Okay. So some of you have no clue what this even is. That's awesome. I like starting from scratch. And feel free to, if you want to unmute yourself, I'm very interactive in my classes and labs. So feel free to interrupt me, stop me, talk, ask questions along the way. Otherwise, I just feel like I'm talking to myself a lot of times. So I am going to share my screen with you guys and walk you through how to do this. Give me just a second. I want to. This is not liking me right now. I love technology. Okay, let's try this again. What is happening? Y'all, I promise I'm not this challenged. Okay, trying again, one more time.
Is it not sharing?
No.
Mine was doing that last night for some reason. I think it's a glitch.
Okay. Here we go. All right. Let's get started with the sheet. Did all of you get a link to the sheet itself? Does anyone not have this?
I don't think so. Was that something that was in the initial education calendar, part of the educational calendar?
So I don't know because I don't set that, but here's what we're going to do. I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to put it in our chats.
Okay.
So then everyone has it and you can play along. If this won't even let me chat with you guys. This is really bizarre. I think it's because I'm not the host because we're on I think everyone's kind of the host.
Oh, there it is. It just showed up.
Okay, good.
They can also get it on the Village Market under resources.
Thank you, Brent. I love collaborative teaching. All right, so yes, you can get it on the resources in the Village Market. Okay, so the first thing you do with a real estate review is find out, well, let's back it up even more. Why do we do real estate reviews?
Isn't it, don't we use it as a good touch point with our clients, just kind of to give them an idea of where their property value stands currently in the market, and helps us educate them about that, their investment, and then again shows value so that they ultimately either use us again as clients or refer us to other people.
Correct. Absolutely. Remember, the one thing to keep in mind is it is not a comp. It is not a comp analysis. It is not giving your client a value for their home. It is just as it says, a review. It is a year over year, well, 1 year back review of what their market area has been doing. I am going to pull up an old one because I do think it's important for you to see what it looks like, since some of you guys have not seen one. And I apologize in advance. The only one I have handy right now is one that I did years ago, and it has the Parks logo on it. But we are Parks and Village, so it's okay. So this is what it looks like. It is a market snapshot. It gives you what's currently for sale in the market, what is pending in the market, what is closed in the market, what has not closed, the average days on the market, the average original list price to sales price percentage, the monthly absorption. This is how many properties are getting absorbed, meaning how many properties are closing every month. So 25 closings a month for this specific area. That leaves you a 2.6 months supply, meaning in 2.6 months, if nothing else hits the market, you're not going to have any inventory. People get those two things confused, so I spend a little bit more time there and we can go over it again. Then you have your average price sold per foot and your odds of selling. Odds of selling, this box is not my favorite, only because it's taking in, and you'll see this when we go through it, it's taking in expired and withdrawns. And a lot of times realtors withdraw listings and then relist them. So odds of selling, I mean, of course, right now in our market, it's 100%. Like as long as you're priced right, it's going to sell. So yeah, just keep an eye on the odds of selling before you share that, and just know you might have to explain that to your clients. And if you ever get lost, the definitions are below. And then it gives you these amazing graphs. So you have your active listings, your pending listings, your closed listings, and your unsold listings. These are the expired and withdrawns. This graph is my favorite graph. This takes your pending. Can everyone see this? I'll just try to make it a little bit bigger. Your pending is in the blue and your listings are in the green. And where they overlap is the money area. That is the successful spot. These active listings aren't really in the spot where they're selling, so they might be a little aggressively priced. Your price points are down here. The next slide graph puts all of that data on top of each other. So you can see the most active price point when this report was done was 650,000 to 800,000. So you have your acting, pending, and closed here. We're gonna do one for today's market and go through all this again. I just want to show you what one looks like, so as we're doing it, it makes more sense. This is the scattergram. This shows you the trend line and where you really need to be priced based on your square footage and your unit sold price. And you have your key up here to tell you what's what. The main thing is you don't want to be outliers. That's what's important to pay attention here. This little guy did not sell. I mean, it was almost probably 9,000 square feet and just under 6 million. But look, this is probably that same property. And once they got it a little bit more in line with the trend, it did sell. This is your sold price per foot versus the year built. So you can see the year built down here and then the sold price per foot. Obviously, the new houses are selling quicker. That's why you see kind of the blob right here. Okay, and then your days on market to your sales price. I would go on and guess right now that when we do the current market in just a second, we're gonna have a lot of dots right here on 0. And then we always include a map. So this was the map area that this specific real estate review was done in, okay? And then we include the list of all the properties. And I know that sideways. Everyone's head's doing this, that's funny. And that is what the report is. So very simple and very straightforward. You don't spend a lot of time on it. For me, I mail it or I drop it off at my client's house with a gift. Brent, I know, does them and he actually delivers them in person and has a reason. Brent, if you want to talk about yours.
Yeah, I always do lunch or dinner with them too, with the reviews to kind of answer any questions, and that's been successful. But I'm with Andrea. I like to deliver them, not mail them, and leave them on the front porch with some type of gift.
Yeah. Either way is fine. If you want to have the interaction and it's a good reason to have a face-to-face with your client, by all means, schedule the lunch, the coffee, the drinks, the hangout time, but don't overthink it. If that makes you nervous, just drop it off on the front porch. Okay. All right, so now let's do one together. And we'll talk more after we all do one together. If we have more time, we'll get creative and talk about how we deliver them and good ways to do that. Okay, so we're going to attempt to share again. All right, here we go. Maybe. Can everyone see the Excel sheet?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is pick either an area or a development. And it's very important to make sure that you are at a specific area. Zip codes are pretty hard because they're so large. If you're doing let's say you're doing a condo at 1212, you want to only do 1212. Let's say you want to do a real estate review for a home in 12 South. You want to only do the homes in 12 South. Don't go into Belmont. Don't go across 8th Avenue. Don't go north of Wedgwood. Don't go further south than 440. Does that all make sense? So let's pick a area. Throw one out. Somebody give me something to do a real estate review on. And I'm going to share this document with everyone. So if there's one that you wanted to do and you would use, we can do it.
Cherokee Park.
Okay, perfect. All right, so you go to your real tracks and you do your residential search. The first thing you do is you select all the statuses. And then you come down here to close date. And remember, we're only doing 1 year. So you check the 1 year box. You check the 1 year box on expired, and you check the 1 year box on withdrawn. Make sense? If you want, you can do the 1 year on under contracts, but more than likely they're already within that year. So that's up to you. I don't typically do that because they haven't closed yet. Okay, and then we put in the subdivision. So we're going to do % Cherokee Park. And that's all we do. We put in no other criteria. Now, if you had a client that really wanted to only see activity for HPRs, you could add an HPR. If you're in an area of town where HPRs and single families are significantly priced different, you of course can do that. If your client requested, I want to see the activity of houses with pools, you can add in that criteria too. So know that you can manipulate it, but if you're just sending it to your database for an annual review, that's all you do. You just do the status. I am going to add Davidson County just in case there's a Cherokee Park somewhere else. And that's all you do. And then you hit search. It's going to tell you it has too much data, which is fine. And you can play the Jeopardy song while we wait. Oh, this one doesn't. That's awesome. So we have 41 listings for Cherokee Park. And that does not seem right, does it? So the next thing I would do is I'm going to do a boundary line. I'm going to actually draw the map because this clearly did not pull the data like it should. We should not have Sylvan Park down here. So let's all agree to where we're going to draw our boundary lines. Does everyone agree we're going to use Briley here as a boundary line? Somebody was going to say something.
Well, my question was that, yeah, I'm thinking, I'm thinking a different neighborhood then.
Oh, you know what? This is giving me Charlotte Park. You want to do like Central.
I want to do, yeah, sort of Central Avenue, that. So I don't know what's funny that it picked up all that up there versus, yeah. And that may be too small of a neighborhood, but if you have a client there, which I do, I'm trying to.
So let's draw a new map. Okay, does everyone agree we're going to basically do Overbrook down to West End? Should we go all the way over to the interstate?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So now we're going to take off the subdivision. I'm sorry, I think I might have completely misunderstood you, Andrea. And then we're going to hit search. All right, and now we have 148 properties.
Wow.
That sounds a lot more reasonable than what the other one was. So we're going to hit list. I don't know why my computer is being so slow. Okay, and then you're going to select all. The box up here selects, if you don't know this box up here selects all the properties. Then you're going to do the drop down menu under more, and you're going to click download. You're going to have all in Excel checked off. Very important, it's all Excel, okay? And you're going to hit download. And it is going to save it onto your computer as all_res. And for me, it gives me a number 2 because I already have one downloaded. The next super important thing to know is this only operates on Excel. So if you do not have Excel on your computer, use Google Sheets. So I don't have Excel on my computer. I'm a Mac user and I like numbers on my Mac. So I just I open up a new Google Sheet and I import the data from my computer. And it should be right there.
Would it, if you had Excel, does it normally just open in Excel?
Yes.
Okay. So you just click on what is downloaded versus doing the import. Okay.
Yep. So you open it and it should look something like this. Maybe. Does everyone's look like this if you're following along at home? Hopefully. And then you're going to select all the data. So if you hit this little square up here, it highlights everything. And you're going to copy. So copy it all. And now you're going to go to your real estate review report. If you have not already done so, you need to make a copy of this yourself, because if you go in and you edit mine, we're going to just fight each other editing the same file. Okay. If you don't know how to do that, you hit file, make a copy. All right. And then you're going to paste all the data. And it's going to take a lot of time. As it's pasting it all in, you'll end up with a little bar up here that tells you it's working. Hopefully it's working. Mine is not. Technology today is not my friend. Who's following along at home? Did yours copy in? Mine's not working.
I'm not following along, but.
Okay, for some reason mine did not copyright. So I am reloading. Refresh my page. It says it's working. It's trying to wake up.
Do you not have to hit the upper left corner of this the same that you would on the other, and then it pastes into there?
Yeah, you can do it on the first box or this box. It
Okay.
sounds,
All right.
it's looking like mine's trying to do it. I have the bar over here loading all the cells. The thing that takes the longest in doing a real estate review is waiting for the Google sheet to add up all of the data. Okay. Let's try this again. Mine's still thinking. This is very, very bizarre. Okay, here we go. All right, I've tried pasting again.
Is that, I'm just wondering, is that because that's the master copy?
It shouldn't
That-
be because I own the master. So
Okay.
do you see it all posted? So I can
Yeah.
edit the master, but y'all probably cannot because I have it set to view only. Okay, so now you see my little bar over here is ticking along and it says calculating formulas.
Yeah.
So it is trying to put in all the information. And so we can actually see it's trying to figure it all out right now. And it's going to take a while. So while it's thinking, on the sheet, on your tabs, it tells you what to do. Paste raw data here. And that's where you paste all of the cells. And you don't really touch anything else except these few things right here. So you want to put that we did Cherokee Park. And we did 12 months back from 3/4. We did 12 months. So then 3, 4. Oops. Hello.
So somehow that cover sheet, the market snapshot, is linked to your spreadsheet and it's feeding the information already into it?
Now, remember, we took the spreadsheet and copied it into paste raw data here.
Right.
So you opened the Excel spreadsheet of the downloaded data from RealTrax, you copied it and you pasted it in this sheet.
Right.
And all of these sheets are on the same file, so they are reading each other.
Okay, that's what I mean. So it's automatically just feeding into that. That's wild.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So this shows it looks like it's done. So we have 5 for sale, 6 pending, and 85 closed. You had 51 that were either expired or withdrawn. 41 was your average days on market for the past year with a 98.6 average list price to sales price. 7.1 properties are closed every month, leaving a 0.7 months of supply. So if nothing else hit the market, out of inventory in less than a month. Your average price was $315 per foot and your odds of selling are 62%.
So how do you explain the like when they talk about odds of selling and they ask you, so
that's a great question and something I definitely was planning on going over, so we can go over it now. We will include, like I mentioned, the addresses. And then I take them to, I do one of two things. If it's a list this short, I will get rid of the expired and withdrawns that actually ended up closing. So I will go down and I will data sort this by address. Real estate reviews, it's so much information in there. It's constantly like, it runs your computer down. So don't keep them open and close them. So you see here, 133 Bowling Avenue. It expired twice and withdrawn twice and expired and withdrawn, but it doesn't look like it ever closed. So that's not a good example. Let's see. 3932 Cambridge Avenue was withdrawn twice, but also closed. So I would get rid of those because it did actually close. But typically when we're doing these, especially when you start doing year over year with the market that we're in right now, getting in all the data, you're not going to be able to go through all the results and get rid of expired and withdrawn, because you're going to end up having, sometimes we do this and it's over 5,000 properties. So keep that in mind. But if you have a short list, you can absolutely get rid of the expired and withdrawns. And then when you're talking to your client, I just explain, don't worry as much about odds of selling. That is kind of a skewed number because properties are being withdrawn from the market and relisted, but they did actually close. And then if they want to, they can dive into the printable the list of properties themselves. And you could even highlight one or two just to show as an example, like, again, showing is better than telling, and, tell them the reason why, and then show them, like, here's an example, 39, whatever the address was, 3942 or whatever it was, Cambridge, as an example, was withdrawn twice, but it didn't end up closing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Very, very, very good question. Any questions leading up to where we are right now? It's pretty easy to do. So all we did was we ran a search. We downloaded that data. We copied the data and pasted it here. The next thing you have to do is print it and you're done. Like, it is that simple. And it's such a valuable resource. The printing, make sure that your pages are printing in the first page, this part, the snapshot, is in portrait, meaning up and down. And all of your graphs are in landscape. So they're, long ways. It looks better and it reads better. So just make sure you're printing it that way. It should do it automatically, but everyone's computer and printer is different. So just double check that. If you did a specific area that is not self-explained and you wanted to include the map, like I did on that other one, just screenshot this page and screenshot the map area and include it in your report. I think Cherokee Park everyone knows the boundary lines for that. So I don't think you wouldn't have to include the map, but you absolutely can. I usually include it just so my clients can know, like, these are the boundary lines I used. Any other questions on this part? I mean, it's really, really, really simple. Like, we just went over it in 10 minutes. The last thing I want to make sure that you see, if you ever get lost, the very last tab on the sheets is how-to instructions. It's 11 steps, like as detailed as you possibly can get on how to do all of this. And if you get bored, you can watch Zach teach you on YouTube. There's a link up here. Any questions on how to do it? Because we're going to talk about when to do it, what to do it with, kind of what we were talking about briefly earlier.
I just tried to follow along and do one myself. And for some reason, I'm getting kind of an error. There must be something wrong with a formula, but in the average OLP/SP, I'm just getting like an error instead of an actual number.
On this one here?
Yes.
Try copying and pasting again.
Okay.
It should work because it worked on this one. It might be something just glitched. So I would start over and try it one more time.
Okay.
And if it's still not working, you can send it to me and I can look at it.
Okay.
One last thing, as I said before, you might get too much data, and I just want to show you what that looks like. So let me get rid of this, and let's say we're doing Nashville. This will be insane. It's going to tell us, alert, alert, too much results. It's going to say your search returned 16,944 listings. You can only view details on a max of 500, and you can only download a max of 5,000. Your view stats you can only see for 100. So you have to be under 5,000. So that one won't work. Let's do 37204, 37215. I need to get something over 500. Okay. So now you see you have the direct download button here. So if you have more than 500 properties show up, it's okay. You still get the download link and it comes up just the same. Download it It's going to ask you, you want it in Excel and you want all the fields. You always want all the fields. And then you just hit download there. Cool. All right. So as we talked about earlier, the reason we do it is to do a snapshot overview of the previous year to give to your clients. It, again, is not a comp. It is a touch point. You can drop it off with a gift. You can deliver it face-to-face. You can send it in the mail if you wanted to. You can email it. You know, whatever is easiest for you to get it in the hands of your client. It's just another added resource to show your client what the market activity is doing. Brent, do you want to add on to any experience that you've had with it?
Yeah, so I did mine different. I did not use this one. I recently started using it, but the one I did before was a template that I did, and it really showed comparison. It showed sales throughout the neighborhood or the street or wherever, or community that they were in. And it was really more of a comp package. I like this one because it shows it gives them more visual reports and everything. I was doing it at the 1-year anniversary of all of my people, but I've changed that now. I'm focusing more on people that have equity in their home, and I'm kind of hitting those first. Again, I do it at dinner, or I do it at lunch, or over a beer, because I just want to have that one-on-one conversation with them and answer any questions that they may have. And then the next report that they get, I might leave it on the front porch because we've already gone over it and they already understand it. So
do you use it as like, hey, I've got something I want to show you, let's blah, blah, or do you drop it off and then go, let's have lunch, love to catch up with you. This is, you know, what's going on, and we can talk some more about it when we connect.
I always schedule the lunch first and I bring it with me, or the dinner first and I bring it with me. The conversation never starts off that way. It's always the personal side of it first. And then I go in and just say, hey, look, I have something I want to share with you, you know, while we're here together, because they're always interested in finding out what's going on in their neighborhood. I mean, all of my clients tell me, oh my God, I've been looking on Zillow. I can't believe our price, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, stop with Zillow.
Yeah.
But that's the way that I do it. And if I leave it on their porch, I just shoot them a quick text and say, hey, I dropped something on your porch for you.
Have you ever used it to get a listing? Like as part, like not even part of the listing presentation, more just kind of like, hey, I know you've been thinking about selling your house. Thought you would be interested in seeing this.
I have not. Now, Joseph Arena, who is here, has used this report to send out to everyone in his neighborhood, and it has gotten him into a couple of listing appointments.
I was just about to say that as well, Brent.
Yeah.
I don't do it to get a listing. I do it as a touch point for past clients.
Yeah.
I only send it to my clients that have closed with me in the past 3 years. So this is part of my rolling top 50. You know, my rolling top 50 are people who have closed with me in the past 3 years and or referred me business. And people get rolled off, and that's okay. Or, you know, some of, like, again, know your audience. If you have a creative minded person, they might get this and their head might spin. Don't send it to somebody that doesn't relate to it. Send it to your accountant all day long. I love this. So another thing you can do is you can create a calendar, and I send mine on their home anniversary. That's how I keep up with it. So whenever I have a closing, that is put into the spreadsheet that every March, I have a list of my March real estate reviews. I knock it out in the first of the month. I don't do it necessarily on March 16th. If that was their close date, I do all my Marches the first week of March, drop it off, email it, send it in the mail, however you need to do it. You find their home anniversary dates. If they close with you, you already know it. If they are just a client that's referred you business or somebody that you know is going to use you down the road, you find their home anniversary date in the tax records. So don't forget you have that resource. So you just go to RealTrack CRS data and pull up their property and you can get their date then. I do think it needs to have a personal touch with it, whether it's a handwritten note or a gift. So, you know, don't just send it and you don't have like, even if it's just written on a Post-it, hey guys, hope you're doing great. Here's your annual review, and pop the Post-it on the front if you needed to do it that way. But a handwritten note on stationery and envelope would be better. And then dropping off a gift, you know, flowers, mums, a bottle of wine, whatever. Again, know your audience. Maria, did you have a question? No, okay. Any other thoughts or questions?
When you said you do a calendar, it's not a gift calendar, it's you're creating your calendar for yourself to, right, okay.
Yeah, do you want me to show it to you?
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Let me pull it up and then I will share it. And I'm happy to share the template of this too. Oh my gosh, I'm going to close that other one.
Hey, quick question for you. With dot and cross, should I give them transaction desk login since it's in, everything's in?
Sure. Okay, so here is my real estate review flow calendar. So this is the template. January, Joe and Susie Smith. Here's the address. I do put a little bit of the data on here just in case. You know, they wanted a HPR or for some reason they wanted it more honed in. I can look that up quickly. The year that they purchased, were they a buyer or a seller? And then I log the dates that I sent it. If there's any notes, so Mike and Jane Fisher, they wanted single family and HPR and they wanted them separate, and send an overview of other areas as well. Joe, another example of something I put in, they manage 4 properties in the subdivision, send the neighborhood overview once a year for all 4 and send it to their PO box. So little notes that you might need, especially if one day you get so busy, you hand this off to your marketing person or an assistant, then you don't have to explain it. The notes are in there. They can read it. I will tell you, year over year, I would get confused looking at it myself. And, you know, I need to be reminded, oh yeah, they do 4 properties. I don't need to send them 4 reports. I only need to send them 1. But yeah, this is an easy template. And then, like I said, I pull it up the first of the month and I see who all needs to get them. I go on and run them. I put them in the mail, drop them off, grab a gift, you know, whatever it is for that month.
That is so much more organized than mine.
What?
I said that's so much more organized than mine.
I know, it's so impressive.
Just the little things. I'm not this organized in real life. Do as I teach, not as I do.
I think I am, but then I see others and I'm like, holy shit, I'm horrible.
My favorite ones to do are during the Habitat for Humanity mum sale with Greater Nashville Realtors. Those mums are huge and it benefits Habitat and it benefits our association. And the real estate review looks really cute sticking out at the top. Just saying. And Brent's Habitat.
Those go on sale in August.
I was about to say, and Brent's our committee chair. So little plug for Habitat. And they're $25 a piece. Any other questions? Sylvia, you asked, am I manually inputting these or does it feed from my main? I'm manually doing this. So anytime I have a closing, it gets put on the spreadsheet if they're getting a real estate review. I'm not Excel savvy like Zach, so it probably could feed, but I don't know how to do that. But again, it's not that many. It's 50 at the most every year. And then when you break it down into a month, the most I ever do in 1 month is probably 8. You know, some months there might just be 1. You know, it all depends on home anniversary dates. December usually is a pretty low number. There's not a lot of closings in December. Cool. Any other questions?
Awesome.
Who's gonna do one today? Do it. If you don't do it today, do it in this next week. Sarah, I see you smiling. Calling you out.
I had to come in late because my 40X, so I'm so lost, but I'm going to go watch that video. And
we had a lot of technical issues at the beginning, so the video's not fantastic, but I will sit down with you and show you how to do it.
that would be great.
And I was just asked to share the flow calendar template. So I'm going to put that in the chat real fast so y'all can grab it. Because once I close our chat, it will go away. So I want to make sure y'all can grab that too. If you want it, it is in the chat. Okay.
Great.
Any confusion? Does anyone need a one-on-one? Sarah, I'm going to sit down with you, but anyone else need a one-on-one with me on how to do this? I'm happy to sit down with you.
TBD, maybe.
TBD. Well, just send me a text, find me in the office, and we can set up a time to sit down. I do not have a problem with it all. Sometimes it is a little bit easier to do in person than on the Zoom because you can kind of interact a little bit better. But you know, COVID. We're still Zooming. Okay, well, if there's not any other questions, that's kind of it. Remember, just pick your area. It is better if you draw the map, unless it's a like high-rise development that is very clear on what it is. And download it, copy it, paste it into that very first tab on the real estate review, and you're done. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody. Yes, of course, anytime.
That was great. Thank you.
Bye, guys.